Hey, everybody, and welcome in to another episode of Vox and Jed Fight About It, the only show on the internet where we smoothly transition the topics from last episode into the next episode. That's right, we're still talking about Minecraft, folks, on this special TV-themed episode of Vox and Jed Fight About It. I'm Vox, that's Jed.
Hell yeah.
Jed, how are you doing today before we get into anything? We're going to get back to that opening topic, but I just want to squeeze a little how are you doing in there. I'm doing pretty good myself. But...
Yeah.
I've
got three stitches in my finger, so I'm doing okay. But, I had a little accident today.
You don't get to tell that story, though. Not on the show.
I don't.
Not here. There's a special reason why not. And it's going to be in episode 50. There's a very special reason Jed can't tell that story, and it's going to be in episode 50, so stay tuned. But... moving on from that, I'm glad you're doing well. Outside of your minor finger injury you've gathered for, I'd say it's a major finger injury, but it's like a minor. It's a
major
injury.
Finger injury.
But for the finger, it's pretty big.
Short from cutting your finger off. Yeah.
It's
like there's only so bad that a finger could get.
But to be clear, Jed is fine. Jed is okay.
I am
Jed
fine.
is not.
Yeah.
Jed is in pain, but he'll be fine. But getting back to that, Minecraft is the first topic on our topics list for fucking TV show themed episode, which is the theme for the day I mentioned a moment ago. So Minecraft announced,
which, by the way, I didn't know anything about this prior to this. So when you brought up Minecraft, I was like, "What the fuck? We just did a Minecraft episode, Vox. What are we retreading on?" But
no, it's TV, dude. It's TV.
Yeah,
or at least streaming. Anyway, But alongside the Minecraft movie, people were complaining about the aesthetic of the Minecraft movie, obviously, which is out now. How is it? Let us know in the comments. But what were they to do, really? The movie was not appeasing people aesthetically. And so they push out a week later what felt like they definitely rushed it to my eye. Like they definitely pushed that up a little bit so that people would be able to see it. And have something else to look forward to, because they immediately show off a beautifully 3D animated, looks just like the trailers but better Minecraft Netflix animated series. And the trailer looked great. It came out 9 months ago, and we've heard nothing since about that at all. And there have been two Minecraft lives between now and then, so I really worry that's in development hell, because it looked like it was really good.
That's in FNAF movie hell.
Clearly it had enough of the animation done to be done, which is fucking crazy, by the way. Can we mention that the FNAF movie fucking came out? I still reeled by the fact that ever came out at all.
And the Minecraft movie. These are both movies
movie
that
and the Super Mario Brothers movie. These are all movies that were announced.
It's insane. It's
the Minecraft movie was
shit.
The Minecraft movie. The idea of a Minecraft movie was officially floated by Mojang the same year that Nintendo announced that they were going to be working with, Illumination to make the Mario movie. And on top of that, the fucking... oh my god, the FNAF movie 2 got... the FNAF movie also... not FNAF movie 2, but the FNAF movie also got announced at that same time. And it was just... And all three of those movies just instantly went into development hell for a decade. And all came out of it somehow.
And they all became bits.
Yeah,
there's never gonna be a fucking FNAF movie. What do you want about? And then
they were all the pipe dream Half-Life 3 of video game movies, dude. Where it's there's no fucking way you ever get that, you son of a bitch. What are you, stupid? Why would you ever believe that that's what you're about to get?
They're gonna keep making shit like Tomb Raider and Uncharted forever, dude.
Yeah, but
that's their genre.
Unfortunately, they announced that it's gonna be. Or they announced it, and then it's been 8 months, and so, I fear that it's probably stuck in that same development hell that the movie was. And granted, we didn't get an official, we are 100% making a Minecraft movie until, a year or two ago. So I don't know if you can really call it development hell on that case, as much as just we didn't get around to it for a while.
Yeah.
But you know, they announced this Netflix series, and I think it could be a cool thing, and I think it's like beautifully animated based on the trailer, and yeah, I'm just surprised we haven't heard anything more, and I'm wondering, does that still exist? Has that been canceled and we just don't know yet? Because Netflix does have a bad habit of this completely finished project will not be releasing. Womp womp. You know?
Yeah. Because like that's
pretty much an issue
that,
with
like,
streaming in general, actually. But regardless, what are you saying?
Yeah, that's the issue, especially with things like this Minecraft movie. Or not movie, TV show.
TV
where
series,
it's like, this is not ever coming out, I don't think. I genuinely, wholeheartedly believe that. I think it was genuinely just like a ploy, and I think they're gonna work on it. But other than like vague work on it, it's gonna come out, and it might just be dog shit. Is what I'm saying. Like it's either gonna be not coming out or it's gonna be bad. I think.
I refuse to accept that. I refuse to accept that. Everybody calls my little block game cringe, and every time something is announced, Minecraft Dungeons got announced, and everybody in the fucking world was like, that shit's gonna be garbage. A Minecraft spinoff, that's gonna be cringe. That's gonna be awful. It's gonna blow ass. And then it came out, and everybody loved it. And then the same thing happened with the movie, and the same thing happened with Minecraft Legends. Granted, the jury's still out on if people like the movie in general yet, but like the people I've heard say anything about it have all been like, a very like it's so goofy, it doesn't take itself seriously to the point where it's genuinely just like the movie's bad and the movie's not good and it's not trying to be, it's just trying to be fun apparently, which is like all the news I could want to get. But it's just so fucking crazy to me that like every time a spin-off for this thing comes out, and I understand the skepticism from you specifically, because it's like that it's not because it's Minecraft,
it's just
for you,
specifically
it's because it's
like
this is taking a while and we haven't heard anything. And like 8 months is not a while for animation, but like it's a while with zero news, especially for like a Minecraft thing.
I feel like was just like appease the people with we're making a Minecraft TV show, look at this. Because they were like upset with Minecraft movie and how that looked. I think that was genuinely what it was for, but that's my own reason for skepticism. Because I think Minecraft's a great format.
I agreed when it was the movie, when we started actually seeing footage of it for the first time, and over time I've kind of warmed to the movie aesthetic, weirdly enough. I kind of like it. It's like
hate the animals.
It's the animals are pretty bad, yeah, but like overall environmentally it's like it's once you look at it for a while, it's really not that bad. I don't appreciate mixing block sizes, but like, you know, when you throw the like that's not how it would look in the video game out of it, I feel like it definitely captures like the essence of the game aesthetically very well. Like it gets the fact that it's blocky across without like, here's like an 8x8 texture that a man from Sweden made in his bedroom 10 years ago. You know?
Yeah.
Like those textures are
the only thing I don't
get me wrong,
aesthetically.
Yeah.
Is the like we talked about this when we were playing that like mini game thing. We had ended up trying to play the mini game thing together, which, by the way, update from last episode, because I think we talked about it. That's not multiplayer. You can't join your friends.
There's no parties for it. It's multiplayer, but there's no parties for it. It's all random lobbies. There's nothing you can do to prevent that either. What's weird is they had the chat off for that. I've been playing it every day to get my cape. I got my cape a day early just now, by the way. But
that's cool.
Yeah, tomorrow the cape actually comes, like the final mission to get the cape actually becomes like an unlocked mission. And we'll talk more about that later. Remind me off show. Yeah. This is not a video game themed episode. I don't need to be talking about this. But like, I don't know. And wait a minute. This isn't a movies episode either. We've been talking about the goddamn Minecraft movie. But no, yeah, that shit's not multiplayer. And like, I agree with you. The animals do kind of look bleh. But I think like,
only
and like the real animals.
I was gonna bring up the like weird like mountain arches that it's just not generation you would ever see in the game.
To the like showing that archway when it's like Minecraft don't look like that. That's not something that would ever generate
like
that
occasionally
way, you know?
There's arches, but never like that.
And never so clean like that, you know. But whatever. It's again, it's just capturing like it's another piece of iconography that like captures the essence and idea of Minecraft for a broad audience, you know? Which is crazy to think about, you know, Minecraft for a broad audience when it's like the whole point of Minecraft is that like everybody likes it, you know, to some degree. Like everybody who picks this game up at least enjoys it a little bit for a minute, you know, and can get into it if they wanted to. It's not like beyond them. Yeah, but Minecraft movie aside, this Minecraft Netflix thing, like maybe you're right, maybe it is all speculation. I just, on the case of this, and like I agreed for the movie a little bit, like I said, I'm just tired of the cycle of Mojang announces something and then I have to pretend that I'm not excited about it, or else I get fucking flamed on the internet forever about it. You know?
Yeah,
I can't be happy.
Really upsetting.
Like, not only is like social media like a cesspool, but like it's been that way for the Minecraft community for a while, where every new Minecraft related thing comes out and everybody's immediately jumping on it and like bitching about it. And I can't abide it, dude. I hate it. But like, you know, it's
the Minecraft community
I can't pretend to be shit. I cannot pretend to not like the look of this Netflix series and hope that it's good. I don't want to live in a world where I'm betting on another Minecraft project being awful. Because I feel like I've genuinely been betting against Mojang on this and the movie a little bit too heavy. You know, I feel like I should give them the benefit of the doubt a little bit more. But either way, because they've yet to disappoint me. Every time something comes out like that, again, like everybody else, I'm also like gobsmacked at the fact that like, yeah, no, this is good. This is fun. But I'm sure the Netflix series will be good and fun if it ever fucking comes out. I don't know what story they're gonna do because it looks like it's all like not voice acted or something. The trailer wasn't.
That's interesting.
Like it's like the trailer.
That actually makes it more intriguing to me. Actually,
yeah, like I think if you saw what they had to show for it, I think you would. I would like it a little bit more. You know, but either way, that's all I have to say about that. Really, is just like, man, is that still coming? We know nothing. We know nothing about that. Yeah. But
speaking of video game TV shows, though, we know something that is coming, and that is Fallout's renewed season for season 2.
Dude, we've been hearing a lot about Fallout Season 2. Have you been keeping up with the news? I haven't been keeping. I've not been keeping up with the news at all,
but I have seen it.
Yeah, but I've been seeing set photos. Apparently, they're filming somewhere like very public for a lot of this stuff. Yeah, because like they showed the New Vegas set, and there's just strangers rocking up filming TikToks, like bit TikToks about just like, hey guys, I got shot in the head in the desert and woke up here. What do I do? Yeah. And like panning around to like New Vegas, you know, and it's like, that's funny. That's really funny. Why the hell are you allowed to get that close? You know? So they have to be filming somewhere pretty public. I always assume they like would film this kind of thing in the desert, like properly in the desert, because like what better space? Like they used to do that for old westerns and shit. At least not like spaghetti westerns, but like proper westerns. They just build like they would build outdoor sets just in the fucking middle of the desert and just leave them because it was cheaper.
Well, that's the interesting thing, actually, is most things, and I actually did a good amount of research into this because I like cowboys a lot, and 2, I grew up in, you know, the Wild West and seeing that landscape, and it never quite looks right. Almost everything filmed in the desert, meant to be a desert on, like, you know, the East Coast or on the West Coast or something like that in the US, most of the time it's filmed in Spain. And a lot of those spaghetti westerns were the same. I think it's either something about the weather or just about like the landscape is now just like that Spain landscape is just what desert looks like to people that like they have a hard time getting away from it. But I don't know.
I appreciate the aesthetic authenticity of like, and we'll come back around on this because I want to talk about it again because we have more different stuff to talk about it with. But like shows like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, like taking places like fucking Albuquerque and like, no, the show's set in Albuquerque. We're just gonna rent real spaces in Albuquerque for the outdoor shots and like have sets in Albuquerque. Like all of our filming will take place in the fucking like Albuquerque limits, including the stuff in the show that doesn't take place in Albuquerque. And so like, yeah, it's very authentic to that, like at least to my eye because of that. It has more of a feel to it that feels more like real than like, yeah, this is Spain. You wouldn't like I feel like the brain catches that even when you don't know. Like your brain can tell like, oh, that's a piece of foliage that does not grow on that side of the goddamn world. What is that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I've never seen that thing in my life. What are you saying?
I think that's really sad though too, because like I guess I think it is because of weather and tradition at this point. Because of course, spaghetti westerns were made in Italy. So if you're in Italy and you're like, where the fuck do I go for a desert? Fuck it, Spain's around the corner. Sure. Like that makes sense there. But I think I had it kind of nail on the head when it was just that's what the culture is used to now when they think of a desert landscape. And it's kind of sad because our desert is so pretty and it never gets enough like recognition. Whenever people there are people who do not know that deserts can have foliage. I saw an image on Twitter the other day of like, this is what Afghanistan looked like before the 2000s. Look at all the plants before it became like a barren desert. And it's like, motherfucker, that is a barren desert. That is a photo taken during the war in Afghanistan, dude. Like, that is, what the fuck are you on about? I don't know.
Really hate to say this to you because you live in a desert and you kind of prop yourself up as the guy who knows about the word barren means no life at all, Jed.
Yeah. I didn't
if you see a plant, you see a plant, it is not a barren desert at all.
Yeah. I didn't mean to say like barren.
I hate to do that, but I was just like, I can't leave Jed here to dry to look like a fucking idiot. I have to point it out. I gotta give him a chance to like correct this.
This is the barren desert that you've heard about. This is Afghanistan's quote unquote barren desert, dude.
Yeah, no. Usually, I'd argue most people don't even think of Spain. I'd argue that most people think of like Egypt. Like people think of like the African deserts where it's all like very loose sand or and like dunes. Yeah.
There are some parts of the Mojave, I think, that have like really dunes going on. But other than that,
dude, you gotta quit it. You gotta fucking quit it, man. You keep starting sentences and then leaving like a 10-second silence. I keep cutting you off too, but like we keep cutting each other off, and then I'll like stop so you can have it, and you'll also stop so I can have it. But you'll start a sentence and you'll be the last one speaking. So it's by like you have the right of way. So I'm not gonna start speaking. I'm not like I can't do that. You know?
Yeah.
Because you're like I would just double back over you. I have to address this, like, because we're 15 minutes in, and I don't want to edit out, like, 17 of these pauses in this span of time.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like an elephant in the room right now. I need to point it out. But,
yeah, we're having a weird day. I think it's Discord delay is what it is. Some days
I don't think it's Discord delay. I don't think it's Discord delay. I think we're just having, like, a weird moment right now. I think we can get into it, though.
Nonetheless. Yeah.
Well, nonetheless, you were saying about the desert with the dunes in fucking the Mojave. Please continue so we can get out of this.
The dunes of the Mojave can look like a lot of those places in Egypt, but yeah, I think that is bizarre though, where people think of like sand dunes when they think of desert, and it's like that is like a type of formation in a desert.
Yeah, because those people are missing out, really. Because like when I think about like, because there's like the African desert that's very like. It's very like duney and very like just dunes and rocks. Savannah, that's all you got almost. For a while with like cacti and shit. And then like you get somewhere like fucking I don't even know if they have cacti in that particular like desert type, but whatever.
I don't know either.
And then when I think of like the Southwest, that's where I think of mostly cactus. And then I think of like the Grand Canyon type like orange and like burnt brown sort of like mesa-esque formations, you know? With like little spriggly fucking shit weeds popping out. Like that's what I think about when I think about like that particular like southwestern North American desert. And then there's like the Middle Eastern desert, which is like kind of both a little bit sorta, but kind of its own thing. They've got a lot more like greenery going on in their deserts, which is odd.
And their sand is much more pale than ours, I think.
Yeah, it's like a very like it's a very like light sand. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I genuinely think that people think of deserts as like ugly, and don't get me wrong, I grew up here. It sucks. But nonetheless, I still think deserts are pretty. Like especially the desert that I live in. If you guys need a moment to look at a pretty desert, look up the Sonoran Desert. Or the Saguaro Desert rather. Cuz you don't a lot of people don't realize that it is nice out here. There are plants out here. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, nonetheless.
Why are we talking about that? What about it? Fallout, right? You said that it wouldn't look
Fallout.
right if they just filmed in the normal desert. I wholeheartedly disagree for the sake of this TV show in a vacuum, but I wholeheartedly agree when it comes to Fallout, because Fallout, it looks like the Washington desert, you know?
Yeah.
Which is slightly different. You know, so I would not advise they film in, like, the actual Mojave, because, like, yeah, it does kind of look, like, it resembles the Mojave very, like, heavily, but it's clear they, like, threw in some shit from, like, deserts that were closer by to the Obsidian headquarters that they could get, like, photo of, you know? To, like, reference from. But either way, I think it's, I think, you know, that's a fairly solid case, is that, like, people just have, like, an image of, like, what an authentic desert looks like on TV, and, like, that's just what it is to them, and that's how it's gonna look in the show. And it's like, sure, I don't know.
Hell,
I can get behind that.
They have a lot of varied locations that they film, apparently. They've filmed in Nevada, New Jersey, New York, and Utah. And then there was that one scene where they had those, like, sand-flooded houses, and that's from someplace in Namibia? I've never heard of that place. Namibia.
Did they use that same, like, house full of sand that every fucking, like, show and movie uses? That's, like, just fucking, like, it's a town of houses that are all just full of fucking sand? Yeah.
I didn't
get that far in the show.
Holmanskop in Nambia is what it's called.
Yeah, because I don't remember what show it was, but some show used that I was watching, like, a behind-the-scenes snippet for, and they mentioned that it's used a lot, and now every time I see it, I can't help but see it. Like, I can't help but notice when, like, somebody walks into, like, a rundown desert house, and it's that house, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, it doesn't take me out of it anymore. It's become, like, sort of a Wilhelm scream for me of just like, oh, look at that, it's back, the house, you know?
It's the house.
I don't know.
It's in everywhere. It's in the Mojave,
I like that, like,
it's in, like, sci-fi.
I like that, like, TV and movies and what they used it in The Mandalorian too. I like that, like, TV and movies have like archetypes. Like not only are there like familiar actors, there are also familiar locations that a lot of productions use in different, like, cities and whatnot. And so it's like it's very cool to, like, you know, I think like a lot of the time when it comes to TV, like, if you could, like, you think about, like, New York City, LA, like, there are places in LA, there's a lot of places in, like, Toronto for that kind of thing, weirdly enough, for, like, shows from, like, the late 90s, early 2000s, used a lot of, like, Toronto filming locations. Weirdly, lately, it's been a lot of Georgia filming, because, like, in the past, like, decade or two, Georgia passed something that, like, cuts taxes on film productions, so they're a lot, like, if you've got a film production, it's cheaper to do it here a little bit than it would be to do it in most other places. And so that's why, like, shows like Family Feud and whatnot that run, like, a weekly, like, game show production, it's like, hey, we just need a space, and we just need to, like, be able to do this week to week and send it off, you know? We don't need to pay that much to do that, really. And so, like, you know, and there's a lot of historical shit that's filmed here, too. But yeah, that's what I like, is just that, like, there's a level of, like, familiarity that you get to have. Like, with this house full of sand, you could have seen that in, like, 2 or 3 other things, and suddenly that house full of sand is, like, part of the aesthetic of visual media now. Like, that's become, like, an archetypical image for TV, you know? And that's crazy.
My favorite one, specifically, my favorite one of these, like, filming locations that I like a lot is the Midwest Street backlot in Warner Brothers, where, like, all of Gilmore Girls is, Dukes of Hazzard, Pretty Little Liars, like all of these.
They did
movies,
a season of
like,
fucking Real Housewives
Rory's
back
house.
There. If I'm not mistaken, that might be the Universal lot I'm thinking of. No, it is the Universal lot I'm thinking of, because they, like, ruined the Psycho house or some shit to do that. They, like, renovated.
Yeah, they did.
They gave the fucking Psycho house the goddamn landlord special, so it looked like a shitty reality TV show house. Like, they painted it, like, all white and put tan carpeting in and shit, and made it, like, the most inoffensive millennial gray house ever, and people were so fucking mad. But granted, it was like a set.
Get turned into the set that Bo Burnham used for his Inside. I thought that was what that was. It was that little, like,
I think it was that Bo Burnham owns the Scream house, and, like, Thus, like the inside the show, like inside the comedy show does. I don't even know if I call it comedy show, frankly. But like not because it's bad, but because it's like it's very emotionally ranged. But whatever. Bo Burnham's inside is just filmed in his back garden shed, and his back garden shed happens to be the back garden shed of the fucking Psycho house or the fucking Scream house rather.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember where it was.
It was something like that. I'm not even sure it was the Scream house, but it's some horror movie house.
Oh, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street. That was the one.
Yeah,
that was the one. So I was like, man, it doesn't really look like the Scream
comedically
house.
Small house. Yeah. Because like that's the whole thing about it is that he's like 6'4" and it's got like 6-foot doors, so it's just funny to put him next.
Holy
to
shit, bars!
Yeah, 6'4" got the 6-foot door. But yeah, I love sets like that. I can't think of any else off the top of my head where it's like you do the like Leonardo DiCaprio like point oh yeah thing too much other than like Gilmore Girls sets and it almost feels like cheating though with the Warner Brother lot because like everything uses the Warner Brother lot.
Yeah, the Warner lot is a lot just like the Warner lot is indeed a lot. Yeah, but no, it's a lot like the Universal lot, but for TV.
Mm-hmm.
Where like sure the Universal lot does TV sometimes, but primarily it's like used for film production. Whereas like the Warner lot is used in a lot of smaller time like TV projects.
Yeah, I think that's the
sense.
only thing that we have one-upped on you for our Universal Park. I think Universal Florida is ultimately better. However, we get the like tour where you can see like here's the actual DeLorean. Here is like, you know, some of the props from the Jaws set and like here's where they filmed this and that. There's a whole tour where they just show you shit and there's active filming going on while you're going past there. It's great.
Yeah,
it's a good time.
Like the Universal lot tour is like a great feature of the California park, but I think that's
the only thing it's got.
As like a park, I think the Florida park is better just because, like, mind you, our park opened under the slogan "Ride the Movies." Yours did not.
That is true, yeah.
Like that was the thing. It was supposed to bring Hollywood to Florida. It was supposed to they wanted to turn Orlando into the East Coast LA. Is what they wanted. They wanted to have production houses running in the park, and they did for a while for things like Nickelodeon and like stage productions and all sorts of other stuff. But like the Florida park was supposed to be like the movie industry reaching out and going, "Hey, this is just basically LA too, aesthetically. Why don't we just take it? They got palm trees over here too, dog. We could be making movies out here instead." And so they tried to do that. It didn't work. And then they like hard pivoted to just like, well, do you want the movie like behind the scenes experience? Come to Universal, you know? And so they started building on that of just like, yeah, go live the experience of the Mummy. Go fucking like be on a boat being attacked by Jaws in the middle of the fucking like in a lake in the center of the park. Go fucking have the Hulk throw you like full force off a fucking coaster. Go fucking walk around Dracula's castle or whatever. You know, like it's all shit like that. And they're very good about their theming and they're very like hard on it. And I don't know. Everything I hear about the California park, it seems like it's kind of following the Florida park's lead in that case. Like it feels like Florida is their like mainstay, you know, for when they do new park shit.
For sure, yeah. Like
which
honestly,
is great because you guys have the better Disney, I'd argue.
Yeah. We do have the
I think we have the bigger Disney. But Disney World has some good shit.
Disney.
But I'd argue that California, Disney California is like
it's the like original, you know.
That is their mainstay. Like they've kept that park as like this is our one, dude. Like they push a lot for Orlando, but not nearly as much as they do. Like the Avengers Campus, I'm pretty sure actually that's a Universal issue. Never mind. I was like, you guys have the Avengers Campus over there, and we don't. And then I realized immediately that's because there's like a whole like a fourth of Islands of Adventure, the secondary part of the Universal Park, has the rights to like Marvel characters right now in that region for parks. So it would be messy. I watched like a whole legal video on it that like explained the contract agreement, and it was like, yeah, they could make a Fantastic Four ride, but they wouldn't be allowed to use Doctor Doom or The Thing or like a bunch of other like. It would be basically like they could do most of their franchises. They would just have to like Swiss cheese the hell out of them to do it right now because like Universal owns such weird character rights. Yeah, it can only be MCU stuff. And that's why the Avengers Campus is MCU, is because, like, A, the MCU was big, and, like, B, we kind of have to stick real fucking close to that. But it's cool because then Islands of Adventure has this whole, like, you remember, like, the X-Men shit? Remember when X-Men was huge in the mid-2000s? Remember that aesthetic?
Oh, yeah.
It's all that. Yeah. It's all that across that entire section of the park. It looks like 2008 over there. It's fantastic. It's like you stepped straight into a comic page. It's phenomenal. But
like,
oh, fuck.
I think that going...
We've gotten off on another tangent, Jed. We've been talking about theme parks and deserts across the world for 20 minutes.
God damn.
We got a lot of TV topics. It's fine.
We do. We have a lot.
I'll let you have that last point that you were saying, and then if I got anything about it, I'll get it out quick and we'll move on.
That the LA park, Anaheim's Universal, and those parks are actually still worth it for us to travel to Anaheim at least once.
Oh yeah, I want to go like, do it at least once.
Filming places. Yeah, because I think you would get a big kick out of that. Because that's what LA is great for. Is just like, do you really enjoy film and TV? Welcome to the fucking town for it, dude. Like, yeah.
Dude,
well, it's hard to say town, the biggest city.
You're gonna. I kind of almost don't want to go to LA with you, not because like. Not for any I don't want to be there with you, I think you'll annoy me reason, but because I'm going to annoy the piss out of you.
Yeah.
You've been there, and so like, and I haven't, so I'm gonna be stopping and looking at completely ordinary shit and going like, oh shit, look, dude, it's the place, from the thing, and you're gonna go, yeah, it's the place from the fucking thing, dude. I used to pass it on the way to school every goddamn morning. It's not special to me, you know. And then I'm gonna be moved on to the next. Like, there's a thrift shop over there, and I think I see something cool in the window. Can we stop? And it's like, dude, every thrift shop's got some kind of film artifact. We're not stopping in every single one. And it's just like, dude, no,
I would still gladly do it.
When I plan trips in different cities, thrift stores are a day. Like, shopping is a day, and then part of that shopping day, a significant portion, is it's a major city. I'm going to their Goodwills. I'm going to their Salvation Armies. If like I usually don't spend money at a Salvation Army. Just got I never find anything, and B, I really really don't like to spend money there for reasons. We have an agreement on that. And like any other little like mom and pop antique store, I like to go in all
those
of
are great.
I like to, I don't know, I just like to peruse a bunch of old shit. Our local Goodwill, we were just in there the other day, and I was looking at alarm clocks for like 10 minutes. I don't even need an alarm clock. I had zero intention on buying one. There was one with a cool like tape deck attached to it for like $10, and I thought about getting it, but I don't own any fucking cassettes. So I wouldn't have had any use for it anyway.
Yeah.
So I didn't get it. But that's what I mean, is I could spend an hour. I could spend several hours just walking around stores that carry other people's junk and just going, oh man, I like that. But weirdly,
but that's the good thing though.
Can't get into shows.
I grew up in LA. You can't get into shows like that?
I can't get into
old.
I used to watch like Storage Wars. I used to watch like all kinds of shit like that with my grandma when I was a kid. But now, like the editing style of that kind of shit is just so abrasive. So shows about antiquing, I can't fucking stand. Sorry, I thought I'd slip that in while we're talking on our TV episode.
Yeah.
But you live in LA.
Actually, that gave me a transition. I didn't ever leave it.
Oh, no, move on, please. Please go. No.
Yeah, I am gonna move on.
Let's move.
Because those Storage War kind of shows, dude. Sorry, the Storage Wars thing. For some reason, these take up the same place in my mind. We watched an episode of Duck Dynasty recently, just because fuck it, why not? Like, we found it. Duck Dynasty is such a shitball show. Why does it have so many seasons?
Yeah, dude.
Like,
I've seen it before, and there was a point where you're like, what are we doing? And they explained what we're doing, and you went, oh. So we start this episode, right? And the episode begins with like their intro that like talks about like how hardworking these men are, and like how these men like slave their lives away making fucking duck calls, you know, and that's what they do for work, and that they're honorable working class men who really put the work in on the job. And then the episode starts, and it's literally like 10 minutes of this 40-minute episode is them sitting around going, what are we gonna do today? I don't know, shit. You know, it's like that for 10 minutes, and then they go, well, I need some newspapers because my wife wants to do a scrapbooking project. And then some guy goes, shit, man, I got a shed full of them. You can come take them. I don't want them. They're like covered in cat piss and mold. You could just have these nasty ass newspapers.
Well, he didn't say the cat piss and mold until after they had already started using it for scrapbooking and like taking it through to the dump.
And they're like filling wheelbarrows with this shit and just like carrying it away. And that's what they did that day, was like their whole day on a weekday was, I'm gonna go to like my buddy's house and he's gonna help me fill.
It was his dad's house.
It was his dad's house. Yeah. I'm gonna go to my dad's house. I'm going to take a bunch of newspapers from him. I'm going to put them in the back of my car. And then I'm going to take them to my wife so that she can make like an arts and crafts project out of them today. And then I'm going to go sit down and talk with my boys for a few hours. And that's going to be the episode for me.
And then
that's going to be my whole day. and there was a point, they had a segment in the middle where they showed like the craft thing. And that was genuinely like the most interesting part, because at least they were doing something, you know, they were doing literally anything of note. And like clearly it's a situation that I've seen before a lot, where like I don't know these women, so take my like estimations of their like relationships like with a grain of salt, but I've seen a million of these as someone who like as a kid grew up around almost exclusively women, you know, as like adult figures in my life. Is that like women friend groups, like some of them just hate each other. Like there are a million white woman friend groups out there who just despise each other and find each other deeply annoying deep down, but want to still hang out regularly. I don't know what it is.
They don't want to not have friends. That's what it is.
It's sad.
Like there's like a social hierarchy.
That was the vibe I was getting from that episode, because they were like actively talking about how like they were cutting back and forth to like, oh, what are you guys doing? Some kind of scrapbooking project? And they were like, oh yeah, hi, like Shireen or whatever her name was. Come on, we'd love to have you. We've got like glue, we've got snacks, here, I'll show you how to do it even. And then hard cut to like a confidential interview, look to camera thing, where that same like inviting woman is like, I fucking hate Charisse. I think she's the most annoying bitch on the planet. And then they go back to it and they're like, and they're all suddenly like they're mid activity. So, like, they've cut a little forward where these people have, like, all settled in and Charisse has been here for a minute. And Charisse says something. I don't know the lady's actual name. I'm using a filler name here. But she said something. And then, like, one of the other women, I think the same woman who, like, whose house it was, who was doing the project, was like, shut up, Charisse. And, like she genuinely told her to, like, stop fucking talking. So that she can focus on her shit, dude. And it's like, dude... how do you have friends that talk to you like that and just live it?
Scrapbooking tablecloth right now, dude. What?
I don't want to hear this shit, dog. You're scrapbooking with like newspapers that have been sitting in like a 60-year-old man's like garden shed on dirt for like years. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm glad to like make some trash or make some treasure out of somebody else's trash, but like, come on, we don't need to like my point is they made such like a stink about like, we're working men, we work hard, we leave the like relaxing and chilling out and sitting around the house to the women folk, and then just hard cut to like 3 out of shape men like laying laying in their like chairs, like, what are we gonna do today at 2
They've got
PM?
those like cushy ass office chairs that can recline,
like those nice like Herman Miller bitches that like have like insane arch support and they're sitting in them wrong. Yeah What a ridiculous thing. But we were just like watching them like an ant colony. I felt kind of bad because like this is such like a foreign life to Jed, and for me it's like, yeah, I've seen guys like this, and it's like they're up to something like at least like Duck Dynasty is such like I have no interest in ever watching that show on my own, but like if an episode of it is on mid-episode, fuck it, I'll watch the fucking ant farm for a while. What are they getting up to in there, you know? Like, what are these 3 guys who, like, carve wooden duck calls in the woods for a living doing right now, you know? And, like, there are episodes where they're genuinely, like, I was over at my in-laws' place, and they were watching an episode of Duck Dynasty in the background where they were helping a guy who lived in, like, a shed. Like, he lived in, like, a furnished shed, and what they were doing for him was they were helping him, like, build a house together. And that was a really interesting episode. They brought in like construction specialist buddies that they had to talk about like joists and shit. And it was a cool project to watch happen. I don't give a fuck about Duck Dynasty though, but it was interesting for an episode to pop in just to see how these people live. Because I remember I felt very like a scientist looking down at a fucking like ant colony, because there was a point where they cut from like gathering the newspapers to the women using the newspapers, and you went, now we see what the women folk are doing. Like, we just cut in the nature documentary to like, yes, now let's see what like the other group of penguins on like the opposite end of the iceberg are doing. You know, that is kind of how they do it. It is kind of like a look at these freaks kind of show. They divvy it
from men to women. Like that. It was so clearly divided that way. They had like intersecting plots. Like one intersecting plot where it's like, yeah, you can have these newspapers, and then it just completely split off fully. So it was like we were watching one guy like just shovel books and shit
in the middle, and then like after that they fucking like haul the. I think what they did was like haul more of it to the dump when they were done with it.
Yeah,
I think that's how they ended it. Actually,
because they were like, we can get like 2 cents for this bed full of paper. They were like hype about it or something.
I don't know. Those kind of shows are always like a fun dip your toes in the water kind of thing. It's always a fun like I just want to have a look. I'm just gonna peek real quick and see what's going on.
Yeah,
you know.
And that was our like one time with Duck Dynasty. We're never going back, dude.
No, absolutely not. That was a one timer, and like we were just sitting there, and like we all knew it when it was over, because I was looking at like the next episode button start to load in while we were watching it, and I just went, are we watching another one? And you went, do you really want to do another Duck Dynasty? And like I went, no, I don't. I thought you did. That's why I'm saying something. So we all like collectively agreed, like, no, that was a fun experiment. I think I'm good. You know,
it was a good time.
I'm all right.
That show is so bizarre because it always ends with like, all right, now I'm gonna. Oh my god, we forgot about the burger subplot, dude. There was like who makes the best fucking burger subplot
like
going on.
Right? No, the men were having like a grill off at the end. That's what it was. They finished it off because that's how they close that show like all the time. That's how they close that show all the time. Which, by the way, I got some of the like bougie Kroger brand like boxed frozen hamburgers recently.
Ooh.
And I was like, I bet these taste like shit. They're like the private selection ones or whatever that are like a Kroger owned brand, but they don't have the Kroger logo on them. And so I was like, man, these must be shit, because like there's no way like these are much good, because like they're selling them under like a different brand so people don't think they're buying the store brand, you know? And like the store brand doesn't even sell the same kind. Like they're a different kind. And so I was like, fuck it, I'll buy them. Yeah. So I got that brand of bun. I got like a sesame seed bun, and like I went all out, and I just made them today. They're actually really good, and because they're in like a resealable like bag inside the box, I can leave them frozen, cook them from frozen. I mean, granted, they're not as tender as they would be if I thawed them, but cooking them from frozen means I don't have to cook a whole pack of meat patties, dude. I can just open it up, cook like the 2 or 3 that I need to make my and my husband's burgers, and then I'm done. And then I can put the rest back. Yeah. I don't have to worry about, I have to make it all, or that beef is going to go bad by tomorrow, you know?
No, that's why those frozen burgers are good. Like, if I want a burger, wow, that was a stutter. If I wanted a burger, I would make homemade, like, burger meat. But if you're just like, fuck it, it's Tuesday night, I want a burger, I don't really care if it's a little bit shitty and dry.
It's a good emergency cheeseburger. Sure. That's something I can say. Yeah. If I paid money at a restaurant, like a anything other than like a Waffle House, like this was like a Waffle House level burger, I need to tell you. Like that's the quality of it. So it's not phenomenal, but for like $10 for 12 patties, it was all right. It was enough that I would buy it again as like you said, like an emergency. I want a burger, but nobody else around me really does, so I'm not gonna make burgers tonight. You know? Just a very good little. I'll just throw it in the air fryer and let it go for like 20 minutes, and then it'll be done. But no, that's the thing. Those Duck Dynasty episodes tend to end that way, though, with like some kind of like, now we sit and we pray and we eat dinner, and that's it. Goodbye, everybody.
And they're always like, thank you, Jesus, for the shit-covered books that I had to move today, and the family that we have, and keeping us afloat with our duck call business. They went under.
Did they go under?
I think so. I'm pretty sure the Duck Dynasty business, their actual business, went under.
Oh my god. That's so funny. But now they're like reality TV famous. So now they can just like, I don't know, they could sell Duck Dynasty shit, like Duck Dynasty themed shit everywhere. So like I don't really feel bad about
advertisements. They're just like advertisers for shit now.
I think that's what I'd do if I were like a side character. Like if I were one of like 5 protagonists of a reality show that ran for 10 seasons, I'd totally be like, yeah, Listerine, sure, fine.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
Cough syrup, cereal, you name it. I'll do it all. Like, that's what I'm saying. If I were a celebrity, you wouldn't stop me from shacking it up, dude. I'm going to go to every company. Like, Shaq works with Staples, man. What's he got any business working with an office supply company? He's a retired basketball player.
Big printouts.
Yeah, no, that was the marketing strategy, was like put a big cutout of Shaq that's like actual size in there and like label it like, hey, we have a print service that you can print something this big on. You want to cut out a Shaq? You can have one. That's not an option, by the way. You would have to bring the image of Shaq for them to make you a cutout. I've asked before. Yeah. They don't just have that on the go. So it's like, yeah, no, we can't just give you an image of Shaq. Like, specifically an image of Shaq is something we cannot provide, even though it says that in, like, the ad. Like,
I love shit like that.
A picture of Shaq, we could do it, but we don't just have it ready.
You'll go to one of your friends' house, and they'll have worked for, like, a movie theater for, like, 3 months, and you walk into their room, and it's like, is that the cardboard cutout for the Croods, too? Oh, yeah, my work gave it to me. I thought it was funny, so I took it home.
Is that a
Why?
Is that a 5.5 foot statue of Watto from the Star Wars prequels?
Yeah, of course.
Why not?
Back.
And then there's that guy. Like, have you seen? Like, there's that guy who owns like the. This has been a movie memorabilia episode. This is weird, but like, wow, I'll cap it with this tangent. I'll cap it with this. Have you seen that guy who like stole one of the Tobey Maguire movie Spider-Man suits, like way back, and like waited out the like they were looking for him for years because that's a really expensive thing. But the thing about those Spider-Man suits is they're made of like rubber and latex, dude. They're made to like last a week of filming. So 18 years later, this like mannequin with a Spidey suit on it is just rotting in this guy's like house. And he goes, yeah, that's my Spider-Man. I let the kids climb on it sometimes. The dog kind of chewed the fucking feet on it. You know, like it's something that's been living in like a family's living room for a decade or two.
Spider-Man room.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's that where he just like had that, and then like the public found out that he had that, and like if I don't remember what happened to him, but I'm pretty sure like the statute of limitations was up by the time they found out about it, and they were like, well, can we like have it back? And he was like, yeah, sure, have it. And now it's in a museum somewhere.
Yeah, fucking sure.
It was like, it shouldn't even be in a museum. It's like, it's rags. It's fucking tatters of like a prop.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, you would be better off ripping it to pieces and selling like 3 square inch cuttings of it to people framed. Like, I would buy that.
Yeah.
As a piece of memorabilia.
I would buy that.
Yeah.
But there are like suits that they've made that are full suits that aren't just like rubber and latex and shit. So it's bizarre to like try to collect that one.
Oh, no. It wasn't. Okay, I'm mixing up 2 stories in my head. There is a guy who stole a Spidey suit, and they did find him. But they found him after the statute of limitations was up. I'm thinking of a guy who worked at a movie theater because they also had Spider-Man standees that wore suits made out of cheaper latex and rubber. And they found one of those. Mm-hmm. Like, they would put him on a posed mannequin and ship him out to stores. And so, like, but it is a real, like, it's like a whole suit on a mannequin that's, like, posed specially for the suit. You know? And this guy just had that theater prop in his house for like a long time, and like all the rest of these have been like thrown out or destroyed, so that's like the last one is what it was. I was just getting those 2 stories mixed up in my head. In fact, I think I heard about that on like, is it called Shipping Wars? The one where they like truck shit around? Like it's just Storage Wars, but they're just moving shit instead? I don't know. But like, it was on one of those shows. It was one of those like antiquing shows when I like gave one of those like my once every 3 or 4 years, is this still too fucking abrasive for me or nah kind of like visits. And the answer is usually yes. But, you know, I think it was actually from one of those shows. So this whole like memorabilia rant that we just went on for 20 minutes, justified. Actually about TV. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you.
Speaking of fuck you, or actually no, not speaking of fuck you. Speaking of moving things around the country in a big truck, we've started watching this show like casually called The Great Food Truck Race that I heard about on TikTok.
Oh yeah.
You wanna talk about food truck race? So we've started watching in like our late evenings. And we started watching this, and we have like teams that we root for. It's basically it's a reality show that is what it sounds like. A few teams, like 8 or so at the beginning, I think, and each one is like eliminated each week. Like the loser loses each week. Their goal is take your food truck to this city. Like this week, it's Cincinnati.
Well,
none of you have ever been to
Cincinnati.
Truck. Well, it's like a themed food truck for them. Like they weren't assigned like a theme or anything. They're chefs, and then they got to like get a food truck for their thing.
Yeah, because that does actually change it quite a bit. Because none of them know shit about doing anything with a food truck.
They don't know anything about doing anything with a food truck, and so like that's the gamble. Is like, all right, here you are in Cincinnati, a city you've never been to, doing fucking food trucking. Which, honestly, I feel like, now that I have time to analyze it while I'm not watching the show, the rule set's a little fucky, because, like, the chef that lost in the first week was not playing on the same playing field as the chef that's gonna lose 8 weeks from now, you know? Like, that guy didn't get even a chance. Like, getting eliminated on the first one is way easier than getting eliminated on, like, the last one, you know?
Yeah.
Which I guess is how competitions work, but it's just like, the guy was given no chance to get the hang of it, but, you know... I guess he was the weakest of the group, but whatever. But my point is, we've gotten kind of into it. I kind of like the Great Food Truck Race. There's enough there's enough of that like logistics planning thing. You want to talk about our favorite team that wasn't our fucking favorite team, and now it is?
Oh my god. So here's the funny thing about it. So when we were first watching the show, we were going solely based off of vibes, and there was one group that was like a crepe group. Yeah, it was like a crepe group. But the reason that I liked them was because their whole thing was like, this is me and my wife. And then here's our friend that we took along with us. And I was like, I like that just from the perspective of like, that's me. He's me. And then it turns out he has like fucking batshit flying off the wall anger issues about crepes, dude. He was like scaring the customers because crepes was sticking to his grill. But like those guys fucked off, and then there was another group.
I've never seen an abusive relationship that like a non-stick pan could solve. You know?
Yeah, but anyway, like there's this truck called the Nom Nom.
It's
truck.
The Nom Nom.
And the way that they introduced themselves is they like walked out with like a it's very millennial core, and they walked out with like a megaphone and went like, nom nom food truck, so good it makes you go nom nom. And we were like, fuck that. This is terrible. This is cringe.
Dude, she stepped out in the middle of the sidewalk. She stepped out in the center of the sidewalk and like planted her feet in like an A-frame where she was like as wide as possible and just like into the megaphone at a group of people oncoming. She just went, come get the noms. And it's like, that's so bad. Yeah. That is awful. Dude, that is
come get the noms is terrible.
That's, oh god. But they turned out to be such fucking rock stars about like, okay, we're going to Cincinnati. Let me call like everybody I know who's ever been to Cincinnati and ask them. Let me call like every like bar and grill, or like not bar and grill, but let me call like every like dentist office or fucking like grocery store or like other business that isn't necessary, or like automotive places, like places that will have people around, or malls or Walmarts, like places that'll have people around but don't necessarily sell like made to eat food, like a restaurant or anything. And so it like wouldn't hurt business at all to like just park out front. Like, in fact, it's like a mutually beneficial thing to just like, yeah, we're a bar. We don't serve food. There's a food truck outside. Just like step out, go get something, come back. And so they're like really good at making those like phone calls ahead on the drive over. And like, meanwhile, while everybody else, like, on arrival is, like, scrambling to make a plan once they get there, they've already got one and are, like, parked and going the whole fucking episode, basically. Like they are like we were talking about Plate Up and how efficient we get with that a few weeks ago. It gives me the same vibe as just like watching a really efficient Plate Up game where it's like, dude, they're just working it. They're just fucking like pulling it out. And they get, I don't remember, do they get like a day or do they get like a weekend? Because I can't remember if it's like a multi-day. I'm pretty sure it is like 2 days. I don't remember.
Know. It's 2 days. I think it is a weekend. I think they
get like a follow-up. They get like a mulligan. So they get like a weekend.
They get like 5 days to get there, and then they get the weekend that they sell on. Yeah,
they get the weekend. He's like the prize at the end of it all. You get to like have him.
Yeah,
like you can just hang out with him. You like have earned a personal relationship with him. That's where I'm going with this. That's where I'm going with this.
Very bizarre way to go with it.
Do you know why it's a bizarre way to go with it? Think about the way you would go naturally with that you get to have him bit, and think about the weekend's skin tone, and then think about why I didn't want to do that bit that way.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't consider it, did you?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
Right. I wanted to point it out anyway, so I'm glad we had a chance.
I was thinking about one of those like Freddie Mercury goes down the slide-esque videos, but with The Weeknd, where they just take like snippets of his songs and like make him respond to situations.
You've got like an AI soundboard based The Weeknd, which, by the way, the fact that we've pivoted and like made AI that like uses a text to speech instead of making an AI that speaks in YouTube poop cuts is like. That's deeply disturbing. I feel like if I had, you know how like in movies and shit, they did this in Ready Player One, in fact. In the book, they didn't do it that heavily in the movie, but I think he is there at some point. How like in sci-fi shit that takes place in like the kinda recent future, they sort of like they have like personalized like AI shit, like Bumblebee too, like shit like that. I feel like if I had a Bumblebee, he would be doing YouTube poop bits at me. Like that's the sense of humor that I would give that fucking thing. I would make it speak to me exclusively
it would be
in
so
like
funny.
Like make King Harkinian from the goddamn Zelda CDI games fucking deliver the fucking message you want. You know? Figure it out. Here's a list of the syllables he can make. You've got a fucking graphics card. Figure it out. You have the computational ability to do this. Just do it. In fact, now I kind of want to make that. Because like the text to speech that becomes like a syllabic, like phonetic YouTube poop cutter, that exists. I just have to make it like like a personal assistant that would feed into it, which is like the hard part. But no. Either way.
There is some that's a weird thing. There is some ethical AI, but that is hard to talk about. It is so mucky.
Ethical AI is AI trained on ethical material locally on your own computer. That is what ethical AI is. You know, that's as far as ethical AI goes. I feel like something like, I think about shit for a few years ago, like AI Dungeon and shit like that, where, because like AI Dungeon is like the thing I point to when people are like, I always hated AI. I hated AI for the first minute. It's like, no, you didn't. Look at this. You were doing this AI Dungeon shit with everybody else before we knew like the impact on the environment and like before there was such a thing as like, dude. And it's got me thinking about a time before annoying AI guys where crypto was as bad as it got. Like the crypto guys were as bad as it got. And they weren't nearly as fiending back then. They were kind of just talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum and that's it. But now there's like a new shit coin every week. I don't know what the point is.
Do you remember NFTs? NFTs like showed up and left like instantly.
Man, I don't know.
That was really funny.
Either way, we're going on a lot of tangents, dude. Jesus fuck. I know I keep stopping these by mentioning it, but like we were just all over the place today. Food truck racing. That's where we were.
Food truck races. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the food truck racing show is fun. We have a couple teams that we like, and then we've got like a couple teams that were like, hey, fuck you, man. You suck. You know? Like why are you like, there are like heels in this shit. Where it's like I don't like that guy. That guy is like a dickhead.
There are some people who are just like annoying. Like there's one guy who it's very clear he just like talked their fucking head off when he was in the like interview segment because they use like nothing but his reactions to things where it's like, all right, chefs, this week we're gonna be cooking in LA, and then it cuts to him and he's like, I'm from LA. I love LA. LA is great. LA's cool. And then next time it's like, we're going to New Mexico, and it cuts to him and he's like, I have never been to New Mexico. Fuck New Mexico, dude. I'm scared. And it's like, why do we care about your opinion? Both of your opinions
Jed, you're
have
missing.
Been, yeah, I like this or I don't.
You're missing the key thing that makes this funny is that like they don't even cut to that guy's team more than like twice an episode for like 5 minutes. They're like actual like footage of this guy in a food truck is like 5 minutes of this episode, but footage of this guy in the confidential booth like giving his opinion on shit, he's like all over it. So like you'll go like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and the guy won't appear, like his team won't appear, but the guy will, talking about like a different team. Like they'll cut away, like they'll go, oh fuck, I burnt it. And they'll cut to the cook, and they'll cut to like the cook of that team, and they'll go, yeah, no, I burnt it. That was my bad. I burnt it. And like, I need to do better about that. I just can't keep up with all of this on my own. My workload's too high. I think we need to reevaluate on day 2. And then they'll cut to this guy from like another team that you might have forgotten existed at this point because he's such like a milquetoast looking motherfucker. That like, and they cut to him, and it looks like they just have some intern on the production crew giving like comment because he goes, yeah, the guy fucking burnt it, and he was real stupid about it. It was a real faux pas. I thought that was so dumb when I heard about it. What an idiot! I would never burn anything. Anyway, and then they cut back to like the show and just keep moving as normal. Like that, like a guy from another team didn't just like weigh in on an issue he had no business talking about anyway.
Yeah, like he wasn't even in the like region. It's
but you're barely in the episode, much less in that truck.
Yeah, or like even anywhere near it. A lot of times it's like, man,
how did you
the
hear
people that we're talking about
even?
specifically are dumb. Yeah, because they were like, yeah, let's go in front of a tattoo shop. That's our audience. But they didn't look at like the area or the region, and they went to like a ghost town that had a tattoo shop outside of it. So they're like sitting in an empty street without a car passing. Like none parked on the street, none in a parking lot. Fucking zilch.
Like, no, they were so hype about their thing, too, because they were like, yeah, tattoo shop, we're gonna see some cool tattoos, and we're gonna, like, have our people there, like, it's gonna be great. And then they pull up, and one of them just, like, goes, like, I'm paraphrasing here, but it's not far off of what was actually said in the show, of just like, holy shit, nobody lives here. Like, they stepped out of the truck for the first time and saw this, like perfect tumbleweed frolicking area, and just went, God fucking damn it. Nobody lives in this town. Literally nobody. This shit was like abandoned. Like they were literally in a ghost town that like on the outskirts had like a couple like residential areas and like a couple businesses, and one of them happened to be a tattoo shop. There just was like 10 people that lived over there, and so there was just fuck all to do.
The owner
as a
of that
food truck.
tattoo shop owned another tattoo shop in a less busy area, and he was like, dude, I didn't know you were coming to this one. Why would you
thought you wanted the other one that's
what?
like inside the city? I didn't know that you wanted this one over here that's by fucking like the fucking like ye olde saloon or some shit, dude. Come on.
Yeah, like I bought this business because I needed extra space to like do work, because tattoos are the type of thing where it's like, yeah, it's fine if you're driving half an hour out of your way to go to a tattoo shop, because you're gonna go there, you're gonna get the tattoo, and you're gonna come back home. Who gives a shit if you have to drive far away to get the like shop space for it? You know, people will do that. But like a food truck, you have to be where the people are. I don't know. I actually saw the reverse recently. I had just gotten 2 new tattoos. And we went to a tattoo shop inside of a mall. I've never seen that before. She got really lucky, and she does a lot of walk-ins. Yeah, it was actually incredible. Like, it was incredible from a business perspective, because it was like, you want to know how I found out about this place? I was walking around the mall, and I went, holy shit, a tattoo shop in a mall? Walk-ins available. And I walked in, and they're like, hey, you want a tattoo? And I was like, not right now. I was just checking it out, but this is cool. And then I left, and I came back later. They do their own goddamn marketing. Like, that is smart as hell.
No, yeah, because it's like, I don't know. I've considered getting a tattoo before. I just, like, going into a tattoo shop is intimidating for cost to me. That's what it is to me mostly. It's not like oh man, I'm scared of like a big burly man doing my tattoo or some shit. Like, that doesn't frighten me at all. I don't care. Yeah. Because what most people don't understand is that artists are very, like, not all of them, of course, but, like, even like the toughest tattoo artist I've ever seen has been like the most like tender-hearted motherfucker about just like, all right, this might hurt a little bit, you know? Like like there are so I'm sure there are tattoo artists out there who are like, fuck you, you know, be a man, grow up, you know. I'm sure there are plenty of those guys, but like usually people who are like artisans of their craft, I kind of expect that out of them. I kind of expect a level of just like understanding of like, no, yeah, I do this to people every day. This is a natural reaction to it. Go ahead, I don't mind. If you like need something to squeeze or need something to like, or need to like talk about it, we can talk about it and distract you, you know? And I like that kind of thing. Like I like the social setting of a tattoo parlor. I like that because it's way more social. It's what I want haircuts to be. I would love it if haircuts for me were casual conversation with a guy with similar interests while I get my haircut. But I don't have a haircut place, and every male barbershop is every like barbershop for men is like one man who worked in the Navy is going to cut your hair, and he knows how to do 3 haircuts, and they're on a poster on the wall, and you point at one of them and you get one of those. That's what happens. But like, the only other option I have right now, all the like salons, there are no like queer businesses. I think that's what it is that like those are the spaces I feel like home in, because like this might seem not insincere, but this might seem like offensive to some people, I think. But when I walk into a queer-owned business, my first thought, or when I walk into a business, usually my first thought is, how much do I stick out? And I take like a gander around the store, see how visible I am, see how many people are around, like how good of a line of sight does the cashier have on me at all times? How weird do I look in this store? You know? And when I walk into like a queer business, there's always some freak who's way weirder than me in there. And I mean that affectionately, but there's always like you walk into like a queer-owned business, and it's like, if you even have like a single hint of anxiety, all you have to do is look to your left and see a grown man on a leash and go, okay, that's fine. I'm good. Nobody's looking at me.
Yeah.
You know, like this is like, and it's because it's like a safe space to like be who you are or whatever, you know, and that's fantastic. I'm not knocking that even a little bit. Like, it's just like a good thing to have that reassurance of like, yeah, I'm okay here. Like, both because these are very accepting people, and because if anybody came in who would sneer at anybody, it wouldn't be me first. So, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I have really good incognito for that, because with how I'm built and my mannerisms, I can fit into, like, I can go into, I don't know, Sportsman's Warehouse or someplace where it's like, you know, this is very clearly not my crowd, but I can fit in okay. Because I dress fairly punk, but all I have to do is take my jacket off, you know?
Yeah. People treat me like Roger Rabbit, dude, in places like that.
Really?
Genuinely. I walk around looking like a fucking cartoon, dude. It's insane. Because all the guys in my area, picture a truck owner. Yeah. And so, like, I stick out pretty hard. and so, like, genuinely, I'll have interactions with people where it's like, man, you really want to call me like a sissy or like a pansy or something worse right now. Like, you've insinuated it, and I can see it in your eyes that you like you do not see me as like I think I'm very masculine. Well, I think I'm as masculine as I want to be, you know. And I have a comfortable level of masculinity. I'm fine with it. Fine. It's just like you could just tell on people's faces, like, man, look at that guy. I don't see it in everybody. I just want to be clear. This isn't me having an insecurity and projecting it on people. This is genuinely just like, there's such like an ideal of manhood in like the fucking South that it's like, man, this is, you know, not what a man is traditionally. Long hair, very skinny, clear skin, no fucking calluses on my hands, you know, fresh as hell in the clothes, not wearing like muddy work boots. You know, I'm an unusual looking guy. I stick out anywhere, you know, and so like that does not help that anxiety.
It is nice for me though, because I have a lot of hobbies that overlap with a lot of Republicans, actually, just because of how I was raised. Like, you're raised in a conservative household. That's just life. Like you
can like those things without it defining your like beliefs outside of them. Yeah, that's not a problem.
Yeah, I like guns, but the issue is that I go into like a store to pick up some ammo, and it's like, oh, did you hear about that those liberals talking about the motherfucking, and it's like, dude, I don't give a shit. Get me the fuck out of here. Like, it's great because they like don't pick me out, at least. Like, I don't get like called out like you do as much, or not called out, but like very
no, nobody calls
me
out.
Outcasted.
Nobody's called me out. People leave me alone for the most part. It's just, again, it's like a behind the eyes thing, and maybe I'm making too much of it, but like, honestly, I don't mind it.
Yeah,
I like being a little weirdo. Is that strange? That like I
not
kind of
really.
enjoy sticking out and just be like, not even just for like a yes, I'm me, I'm free, I get to be myself, isn't this great? But from a perspective of like, you don't like me, that makes me like me a lot more, you know? Because when you're your authentic self, you find a lot of the people that you fucking despise will get you mean looks, will like give you mean looks in public. And it's so like, some people would be torn up about that. I find it gratifying, frankly. I want the people who I want the people who I don't like to not like me, and the fact that they don't like me based on my physical appearance means that I'm doing something very, very right with my physical appearance in most cases.
Yeah.
In some cases, it means I have a weird stain in my shirt and just made a weird assumption about the guy behind the counter at the McDonald's. But that one's never happened. But it's bound to at some point, because I'm such an assumptive motherfucker about these kinds of things. I don't know what it is. I don't
know, man.
I like to think I got a good read on people, and a lot of the times I don't.
I don't necessarily like blame a lot of the people, because honestly, if I was a cashier and I saw a motherfucker who's very clearly like maximum mid-20s, wearing a bright orange, like practically reflective vest, 76, like year 76 high school reunion
class of
t-shirt,
76 45th reunion t-shirt from Reunion Outfitters.
I would be
it's
like,
a great shirt. I just wore it to the grocery store yesterday.
Yeah, I know. I had it on the brain, but like, I would also kind of give you a bizarre look in the way of like,
are you? How old are you, man? How old are you?
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. I had a moment with it where it's like, dude, I would totally wear sports coats and like suits and shit more often if they were A, a little bit cheaper, and B, the weather permitted more often. Because it's like, I'm not wearing a suit in 90 degrees. I won't do it. You can't make me do that.
Yeah.
You know, so I settled for like the Hawaiian wear look, you know, like the touristy sort of, like, you put on like a nice, like weirdly patterned bright button up and some good suit pants, like dress pants of some kind, and you tuck it, you button, you're good. You gotta look, you know. And it's great. It's a great look because you could throw a jacket on it. You could involve a tie in the mix. You could roll up the sleeves if you have a long sleeve and cuff them. It's great. But moving swiftly along, did you notice that we did like a, hey, we're doing too many tangents, and then got on a tangent within a minute of doing that? Because I did.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Dude, I've been desperately trying to stop us, but you know what's been happening? Genuinely, it's because I haven't had my topics list up on my screen because it's in Google Docs, and I don't want that white-ass fucking monitor screen in my face the whole time. I can put it on dark mode, and I will for the next one. But like, I keep minimizing it because it keeps just sitting here and like burning into my retinas. But speaking of things that I don't like to look at that are burned into my retinas, the HBO Max logo has changed, and it's weird. They keep doing alterations. You would be forgiven for not thinking the HBO Max logo has changed, because it's just the same as it was, basically, but just a little bit worse. Like, imagine if they took the old logo and made people, like, somebody on Twitter said it this way, and I think it like exemplifies it to me. It's like they gave people the old logo, but they gave like 3 different groups of designers each letter and didn't let them talk to each other, and then fucking sent it out. Because there's no cohesion, like, at all. And you don't really notice like exactly what's wrong with it until you zoom in and notice that like the A is serif and the other 2 letters are sans serif, and then you look and like the X has like wavy lines on it, and like the fucking M has perfectly straight rigid lines on it, and it's just like, this makes no sense.
It's terrible.
This has like completely different philosophies on each letter. You know? And the O looks like a little TV, and I think that's cool, but like,
I think that's neat, yeah.
I don't, or the A in Max looks like a little TV. But like, still, it's not.
Oh, is that what it's meant to be?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess it is, isn't it?
I guess that's what I assume.
HBO Max. All of these companies do this shit with logos, man. All of them. Netflix, fucking everything.
Staples held a press conference to say that they were going to bend the end of the L to look like a staple. You remember that a few years ago? Yeah, but no, these streaming companies are the worst about it, easily. For just like, look at our new look for our logo. I'm just glad it's logos and not website layouts right now, because that used to be the thing.
Oh, thank Christ.
That was the thing in the 2010s, was every fucking website looked completely different week to week for some goddamn reason. Like, there was always a new button, or like YouTube especially, like, iterated on their layout a lot in that time. And I think they've gotten it just about perfect now. But honestly, if you look at it next to the if you look at today's layout next to the 2006 layout, aside from, like, the missing features, it's the exact same layout, basically. Except the subscribe button is on the bottom.
Similar. And shorts.
Like, it's damn near identical. Oh, and there's, like, shorts across the bottom and in like, a thing. I like that. I like that, like, YouTube... I listen to a lot of my music through YouTube, so this is a feature you might not know about because you use, like, Spotify typically. But YouTube has a feature where if you go to the description of, like, an official song, it'll have, like, all the, like... the YouTube shorts that were made with that song as, like, a sample in it. Like, that song is a backing track. And I like to look at it because, like, I listen to, like, a bunch of shit, and so sometimes I'll be on, like, a weird track from, like, the middle of an album, and then I'll, like, spot it in the description and go, who the fuck is using this, like 6-minute long ballad as, like, part of their fucking TikTok? What could you possibly be doing? You know? With this, I think there's not a single moment.
You could go down like a niche for that. You could go down like a really big niche of like
you'll find like fandoms you've never fucking heard of.
Song. Yeah. Oh man. Wow. This is a TV show episode. I gotta reel us back in.
We do have to reel us back in. I've reeled us back in 4 separate times, man. You have to do it at least.
I know
fucking
it's
once.
my turn. That's what I'm
your
saying.
Turn. What are we talking about? Pick.
Yeah. We are talking about WWE.
We're talking about the WWE Championship. All right, and the WWE as a whole. We've been getting into WWE recently.
We have,
and I've seen a bit of WWE. It's one of those things that, like, I've seen, like, a lot of the big moments in WWE, but I haven't, like, followed it really. And so, like, I've never really been on the, like, watching Monday Night Raw every Monday. I've never been a guy who, like, tunes in, like, and is, like, thinking about the upcoming Elimination Chamber match. I'm not watching, like, the fucking, like, Friday night one, whatever they call that one, SmackDown, I think.
Yeah, something.
Like, and that's because it's stupid. Netflix bought the WWE, but they can only have Raw for some reason. Like, they have Raw, and then they have like all the old stuff. Like, they have like a top 10 show that, like, or like a clip show that covers, like, here's the best of Stone Cold, you know. But, like, it's not really a lot of Stone Cold,
you know.
It's also classics. The best of Raw. Yeah, so it's like missing a lot of the big stuff, and so it's like we're only getting half the story because we're missing, like, Friday night's thing. And, like, even if you watch it on the streaming, you can catch the whole story, but you'll miss little bits that they do off camera. So we're really getting like a third of it, you know? Yeah. And so it's like, man, I would love to know why, like, these two wrestlers are mad at each other, but it happened last Friday and they can't show a clip of that. So fuck it, I guess. We'll just have the announcers summarize what happened and then we'll do it, you know? And it's like, it's still cool.
I don't know.
Like, and the Raw promos tend to be for Raw events, so, like, Raw's got its own, like, group. I mean, because, like, there's the, like, they split it pretty easily, where they're, like, Raw-specific guys, and then there are, like, SmackDown-specific guys, or whatever they call the Friday one. I don't feel like it's SmackDown. I don't know what it is. But, like, you know, and it's a whole thing. And so it's not that hard to keep up. It's just, like, sometimes they overlap, and you miss some pieces. But, you know... That's WWE. That's my history with the WWE, and that's where we're at with it now. Is we've just been following it for, like, since Cena turned heel, so like 6 weeks ish. Yeah, I'd say. And it's been a good time. What do you think?
I decided to put this into Netflix because you had mentioned this. It is literally only Raw, and they just, like, milked the shit out of it. They've got, like, 7 or 8 different fucking, like, Raw spin-off shows.
Yeah.
Because you have regular Raw and then Raw Vault, which makes sense. That's like the classic Raw, sure. And then there's superstar profiles for people like Cody Rhodes and some of the people who are really big right now. And then there's legends profiles for like The Undertaker and people like that. And then it's Raw Classics and the road to WrestleMania. And it's like, dude, Jesus Christ. I thought they had all of WWE. No, they're just milking the shit out of Raw. Sorry, I was like genuinely flabbergasted by every single one of those being like clip shows from Raw and Raw itself. Jesus Christ, man.
Because apparently Hulu had it before or something. Like, Netflix bought Raw, but their whole campaign for it was, oh man, Netflix owns WWE now. They own the streaming rights for all WWE. That was the marketing. And so I was like, finally, an athletic thing that we can get into as a group that you don't have to have 70 fucking subscription services to keep up with. But no, alas, only kind of. Like, I'm fine just watching Raw, but, like, I would love it if we could have all that shit. But I don't want to go through to pirate it every fucking week. But I also don't want to pay for all of that shit. You know? I'm gonna have to, like, look up some guides or something for, like, wrestling fans. Because it's, like, just to show, like, maybe some of it's on certain services that we do have and we just don't know. But we'll cover our bases and find out later. But what do you what's your history with the WWE, Jed? Do you have any WWE history? To my knowledge, we were pretty fresh face on it when we started.
Yeah. So my history with the WWE is my mom saw it as like senseless violence, and I was never allowed to watch it. In fact, even now, I'll talk about WWE to her, and she'll be like, "Why do you like that? It's just like." Dude, really roided up guys
don't
doing
like
roided
WWE.
Like, no,
like they like really don't like it. I don't know what it is. People who don't like who aren't into it just really aren't into it. Well, to the point where like,
because I think people see it.
That's the conversation
in the way.
That's like I'll let you have your moment with this. So hold on to that point because I definitely want to hear where that's going. But before we get to that, I just wanted to finish my point and say that like I don't. That's always the conversation you hear is fucking, I don't get it, because it's like, oh man, somebody mentions that they enjoy the WWE and it's immediately met by somebody else going like, why? You know it's fake, right? Like, you know that none of that shit is real and that it like sucks and is stupid and lame and garbage? You know that, right? Like, are you like they talk to you like you've been eating chalk is how they talk to you. Yeah. Or they talk to you like you're a stupid idiot, and they're like, why? You can have like a Mentos or something, and it'll taste similar. You can just do that. You can have like a real edible thing. Why are you eating chalk? And it's like, no, I like the chalk. The chalk is fun, damn it. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. And that I've actually gotten her not quite fully around because I haven't shown her anything. But I think she would appreciate it more because if you watch WWE for the reason that I watched it, at least, it is for the choreography. It is for the choreography and seeing how like these. It's mainly for the fans. Actually, I really like the fans of WWE because they're
such a character,
a personality.
Yeah. And that's like one of my favorite things about wrestling too. But I'll let you have it. Go ahead.
Like the fans just being there to just like. You know what? Fuck it. The fans are a character. They're going to be backstage having like a promo moment back there, but they're still going to reference the fans. Oh my God. The most recent Raw, this week's Raw, Jey Uso was like having like a tiff with somebody behind the... Yeah, main event Jey Uso was having like a tiff with somebody. And he did his like hands up and then bring your hands down for the yeet thing. And he did that like 4 times in the conversation without saying a word first. They were just like, you know, people just like you because you're like, you know, you're full of yourself and all your friends get shit.
Like his like partner.
Yeah.
Like he's
and
like
then
big
he does
man
like
partner.
he does like the one yeet down, like he does the one yeet down, and the entire crowd does it, and he can't fucking hear them.
He showed up on screen.
The crowd. He's backstage.
Okay, so Jed, what I need to tell you is most of those backstage, that promo takes place in a place they call the tunnel. It's the area right before the walkout. That's where those take place. There's like 3 tunnels. There's 2 tunnels, one on either side. There's like a main tunnel and a secondary tunnel. they take place in those tunnels. So like the audience echoes down. So he can kind of hear them a little bit. They're not as clear as they are for us, but like, you know, if they were saying anything more complicated than yeet, I'm sure you wouldn't be able to understand what the fuck they're saying. But like,
yeah,
he did that 3 times. And then we were like expecting a 4th one, and he waited to speak like a split second, and the crowd started to do like a yeet, and he didn't do it. He responded in like real words. He was like, "Nah, man, I'm gonna kick your ass." And then the guy goes, "Oh, you're gonna kick my ass? You're gonna..." And then he gets fucking like laid on the ground, and then he does the 4th yeet and walks away. And it was such a good like conclusion to that bit. It was very good. It was very nice.
It was a really funny bit. A lot of WWE has that bit, though. Like, those bits of the crowd just doing random shit, like, this is awesome, is my favorite chant of all time.
I think this week we got my favorite this is awesome. Because this is awesome, we've seen it used for, like, you've just done a really cool move, or, like, you're really kicking the shit out of them in a, like, a long-form manner.
Like, you guys are really fighting each other.
Let me set the scene. I can't remember their names. I don't know the female side of wrestling as well, because they only do 1 women's match and they do like 3 or 4 men's matches in a Raw. So like it's like it's hard to keep up beyond like the Rhea Ripleys and the fucking what. Jesus, I can't even remember the other one's name that I know. You know, but
like Rhea Ripley is the only one I really know.
Rhea Ripley, and she's not even like a big one apparently. Like I didn't keep up with women's WWE at all, so I didn't know who their like face was at all right now. And I like assumed it was Rhea Ripley because you two were both excited, like you and my husband were both excited to like see her and do her like have her do her thing. And so I was like, oh shit, okay, so Rhea Ripley must be like the John Cena of the like women's WWE division, right? No, not really. She's kind of like the Cody Rhodes almost, where she's just sort of like a workhorse that like they give like an attaboy every now and again. And that's fine. It's fine to be one of those like head down working guys in that sort of thing. But you know what I've found? I like the wrestlers. The wrestler, we don't have any, like, I feel like we need to go back. I feel like we need to start watching old Raw from like the Attitude Era and shit. Because like they had so much personality. There were costumes and shit way more often. Like they had like way more like better vocal stems. I got a video of a guy the other day talking about like watching old WWE and like modern WWE even, and picking shit up like the LA Knight fucking and the like Hulk Hogan fucking brother and the Stone Cold fucking what, you know, like all of that shit. You like walk around your house doing that, but I seem to walk around my house just as often. Most of my vocal stems for modern WWE, like most of my WWE stems are like classic WWE from like the Attitude Era and before, but like most of my modern ones from the Raws that we watch together are the announcers. Like one of the announcers pronounces WWE as like WWE, and like they always announce people as like doing it like that, as like title name, or like here's the title that they have. Here's main like an honorific. like the like Cody Rhodes has like a nickname. He's Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, you know? But like he's also got this whole like royalty theming going on. And then like John Cena has his You Can't See Me. Jey Uso has a main event position at WrestleMania, so they've just been referring to him as main event Jey Uso because that's like truncated from like he's the main eventer, you know, for it. He's in the main event.
Yeah.
It's just like a shorthand for that. But Jey Uso was like the first guy to get confirmed for the main event for WrestleMania this year. So like all season they've been calling him like Jey Uso and main event Jey Uso pretty interchangeably. But when they call him main event Jey Uso, they call him almost exclusively that. Where it's like, oh shit, main event Jey Uso has entered the ring. Main event Jey Uso just laid out Seth Rollins. You know, and it's like main event Jey Uso has entered the tunnel, leaving the ring. Like they refer to him exclusively that way, and so we've had this running gag about like that being his like Super Saiyan form. But no, yeah, you wouldn't want to call like Goku in his like, you wouldn't want to say, oh shit, Goku's on the way, and then like you get Super Saiyan 3 Goku to fight instead. So like they clarify that like, oh man, I like the fandom at least clarifies for Dragon Ball. They refer to him as like the Super Saiyan 3 form. Super Saiyan, dude. I'm opening up a ramen shop. I'm opening up a shitty ramen shop.
Hell yeah. That would actually be cool as fuck.
What, dude? I'm joking about a real ramen shop they have where we're moving to. Like where you're moving to. I'm already there. It's called Super Saiyan. Yeah, it's only like a couple hours away.
That's awesome, actually.
And it's like
I would totally love to do that.
Anime
That's
and
such a funny
Toriyama themed. Yeah, it's great.
Hell yeah.
But no, I don't know if they're shitty or not. I just was like, Soup and Saiyan seems like a worse pun, so I was thinking of like a shitball knockoff.
Yeah.
But you like, so they refer to him as main event Jey Uso, and then they call him Jey Uso later, like he's powered down since then. And so we've been doing this like Super Saiyan main event Jey Uso bit.
Yeah.
It's really good. And then there's like, they call like Seth Rollins is Seth freaking Rollins, and then like The Rock right now, because of like the arc he's on where he's like the king shit heel right now, is like he's the final boss, the
final
Rock
boss.
Like there's two thes in there, dude.
They only refer to him as the final boss most of the time, so it's like
even people who
and
don't
here
like
comes
him.
the final boss. And it's
like even people like Cody Rhodes are saying fucking and even the final boss, The Rock, you know, like with disdain. And it's like, dude, you don't have to like honor his nickname, dude. It's not like you're gonna like misgender him by calling him Rock, dude. You could just call him Rock.
Yeah.
Or like The Rock, even.
In fact, like that would be even better, because then you're just like shitting on them, because it's like, I don't know. I think final boss, attributing yourself as the final boss when you're like old as fuck, like John Cena and him are both these like king shits right now. However, they're both ancient.
John Cena can get away with
it.
John Cena can get away with it because he's a little bit younger than The Rock by like, he's been doing this for I think like 5-10 less years than The Rock has at least. And so like, not only that, The Rock is just stopping in again. Like he stopped in last year and he stopped in a few years before that. He's gonna keep coming back, and the announcers have actively mentioned that, like, yes, The Rock is a fucking star. The WWE's gonna let him come back if he wants, you know? And I'm sure they'd do the same for Cena.
Yeah.
But Cena's stepping down, so I give Cena, like... And Cena's been, like, a workhorse for this specifically through everything for so long. I cannot fault him for still doing it, you know? But what I can... Like, I feel like I'm better at faulting The Rock. I can see where you could come from on that with Mr. Cena. But, like... I don't know, I give him a pass because he's retiring this year. He does look too old to be doing this shit, but just barely too old. Like, The Rock looks too old because he's starting to get liver spots, dude. He's got liver spots and wrinkles when he so much as even starts to squint. He's completely bald, where he had a whole head of hair when he started doing WWE. You've graduated out of this. You keep coming back here when you have an opening. Just go. You know? But he's like the David Tennant of WWE, where like he's just there to like, he'll come back and they'll let him come back, but like he's got other shit going on too. But at least David Tennant is like cool, you know. At least he's like not doing it just for like the money, you know, and the relevance.
Yeah. Does The Rock even fight anymore? I've not seen a fight.
He's gonna fight
with The Rock.
Well, oh no, he doesn't fight.
Okay.
He's not fighting because he's picking a champion. Remember, he's like courting a champion. He's courting like a team of champions to fight for him right now.
Yeah.
So like he's not doing any of the fight. Like that's how I know you're too old for this. Is like he's like Triple H is too old for this too, but he's moved to manager. He's like still doing the thing he loves, but from like a position that's like okay to be in for a man his age, you know. But like I don't know, you just see The Rock up there and you look at him for more than like a second and you see that like when he won't take his shirt off, and like you can tell why a little bit through like the holes in his wife beater, because the armhole, he's wearing like those like wife beaters where the armholes come down a little bit. I hate those, by the way. Those like they're not even wife beaters. They're like full on like tank top type covers. Deals. Yeah, dude. The fact that like at that point just wear like a front and back no sides type deal if you're gonna have the sides be that open anyway. Like
the ideal is it's supposed to go just below where your lats meet your back. So like you're supposed to have your lats be popping out of the shirt. But a lot of them go just too far because they aren't tailored for people.
I'm realizing I've just like only ever seen construction workers wear these. I've just thought about a bodybuilder wearing one, and it makes sense as a garment to me now. Now that you're like mentioning muscle groups and shit, but I've only seen like
that's
out of shape men, like the guys on Duck Dynasty wear one.
Yeah.
Where it's like, why are you wearing that, dude? You got a fucking flab window on both sides, man. Come on. Like, I don't want to fat shame anybody, but like, that's just not a flattering thing to be wearing. Like, hell, I feel like I'm in decent shape. I wouldn't want the whole side of my torso visible. No. Fuck no.
Yeah. Well,
Jesus
actually,
Christ.
no, there is a different type that isn't a pump cover that I think you're talking about that goes down to like the hip. Are you talking about the ones that go down to like the hips?
Those are the ones I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
I've seen bodybuilders
I was
wear
talking about
those
the ones
too
that
sometimes,
just get to the
and
ribs.
it's like, no. I know what you're talking about. And like those are similar enough. But
yeah.
Either way, WWE, that's just where most of my stims come from, is the announcers right now, just because of all the funny titles they give them and all the shit that they say. I think the first wrestler thing that I've repeated recently that somebody on Raw has said while we were watching was CM Punk, like being addressed, and they go, "You punk," and he goes, "Me?"
Yeah,
like his voice cracked a little,
like
and it wasn't like an intentional crack, but he just went, "Me?" And I've just and pointed at himself with like a 2-finger point right against his chin. So I've just been doing really close to the face point-ins and going, "Me?" at random, and it's great.
What?
I love that shit. It's pretty good. But yeah, no, you like CM Punk? I like CM Punk. CM Punk's cool. Why do you like CM Punk? I'll let you have why CM Punk is cool.
Because I started watching at the CM Punk fight, and that was the first main fight that we watched, and it was a cool fight. It was an enjoyable fight. It was a cool fight, you know?
CM Punk puts it in, dude. He's a real solid performer.
He does.
You know? Like, he does a really solid performance.
He's working out,
he sells it well. Yeah. He's answering questions on TikTok now. He's like doing TikTok videos where he like directly responds to like comments, and it's like, dude, if the WWE starts like responding to TikTok comments, like the fact that there's a non-zero chance that I could ask a question to like directly to like a guy on Raw, like wrestlers seem so untouchable to me, because it's like these are guys who like spend all their time either on camera working out or on camera working out, sometimes both, but like usually on camera working out, eating, sleeping, shitting. That's what I assume they do all day, because like to keep in that kind of shape, you do have to do daily workouts most of the time, I would assume.
Oh yeah,
like especially with like how cut they have to be to look good during wrestling matches, and because these guys travel constantly, and it's like you figure any downtime in that, if you were stationary, what is taken up by plane flights and car trips and like bus trips and shit, and like booking hotel or like getting booked into hotels and putting your shit in the room that you're gonna like sleep and shower in, and that is it pretty much. That's what I assume the lifestyle of a wrestler is during like the on season, like while they're wrestling, because you hear all these guys talk about it, and they talk about it that way, and like they talk about it that way, and it's like, and they talk about vaguely how much it takes out of you because you're just on all the time, like you're working all the time on something actively related to like WWE, and so it's like it's a whole thing for them, like it's a lifestyle, you know, and it's odd. But yeah, no, that's
I'm dropping shit.
I'm liking the WWE. I'm liking enjoying WWE. I do think I wanna do a little blast from the past soon, just so you can see like why my like, oh man, Modern Raw is a good, like there's some good players in it. It's just like as a whole it lacks personality compared to its like younger self, even, you know.
For sure, yeah.
I feel like we're in a down note.
Because we did watch those like that Raw Classic series for a while. That was a really good way to like dip your toes into it, because then you don't have to worry about like promos. It's just
isolated to like what's this guy's deal. Yeah. Like I know about The Rock. Like, let me watch all of The Rock's best fight. And honestly, I didn't like the Raw highlights shit either. I didn't like that show either. I liked watching it until like I liked watching it the first time. And then the second time we did like the Stone Cold episode, and it's like, dude, I've seen so many great Stone Cold moments, and none of them are in this. You know?
Because they aren't fucking Raw, dude.
Yeah, because they're all at like Raw WrestleMania. Moments. They're all like at WrestleMania, or like we should watch every WrestleMania, all 50 of them. We should watch all 50 fucking WrestleManias. Okay, maybe not all 50, but we'll pick it up somewhere in the middle.
I would be curious to see WrestleMania 1.
Yeah, what does WrestleMania 1 look like? Oh, you know what we should do? We should turn Vinesauce Joel as like a bit every year for like a charity thing. Does Vine Wrestle where he brings out like he does like a 2K game and just makes a bunch of fucked up freaks in the character creator in it and makes them fight. Like it's like yeah, Germa versus Mr. Pencil, the guy I made to look like a number 2 pencil. Let's see how they fight. Let's see how it goes. And then he commentates it and he's like, oh shit, man. And so you get just like this Swedish guy laughing his ass off and going, oh shit, he's gonna hit him with the Stone Cold Stunner, you know? He doesn't talk like that.
Holy shit.
What?
WrestleMania 1 has like, what is his name? Mr. T? The guy with the like weird mohawk that also kind of goes around the side of his head?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mr. T.
Like, it's that kind of shit going on. That's crazy.
No, yeah, you see it,
sorry,
right?
I have to look that up.
We'll look at that shit later. We'll look at that shit later more in depth when the show's not going. But, yeah, no, I'm liking WWE. I want to explore more of its past, and I can't wait to see more of its present. I like this. I'm really invested in this, like, John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, and then, like, John Cena flips, and CM Punk flips, and now CM Punk is a good guy, and John Cena's a bad guy, and Cody Rhodes is stuck in the middle of it and doesn't know what to do. And, like, was, like, a really hard-standing good guy last week, but now, like, The Rock has come to him directly and gone, hey, we'll take you, too, if you want. And now he's genuinely thinking about it for some reason.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't know where this plot line's going.
Seth freaking Rollins, like, set him straight, I think. I think that's what happened.
He did kind of talk him out of it. I like Seth Rollins, too, a little bit. I don't mind him. He's a guy. He feels very WWE. Like, I look at Seth Rollins and I go, yeah, that's a wrestler. That's a WWE guy right there.
Yeah, he came out in like a latex like trench coat suit. It was crazy.
Oh man.
The announcers were even like making fun of him.
He was in all red latex, dude, head to toe, and it was like, yeah, it was a trench coat. It was like big ass like cowboy boots or some shit, dude.
And like bell bottom latex
and
pants.
Bell bottom latex red pants. Yeah, it was all red, head to toe. It was insane. But yeah, no, he feels very WWE. Speaking of WWE guys, I've always like kind of passed that aisle in the store. I'm now like somewhat tempted to look at the fucking WWE figures available. It's like,
yeah,
I find that kind of odd. I don't know if I'd want to own a fucking little Cody Rhodes statue, you know? But like,
I think I would just to have it.
It's just something like a little piece of merch of my favorite wrestler, you know? Just like, oh yeah, there's my fucking main event Jey Uso figure. Check him out. There are like wrestling figure collector guys, and I've looked at that in the past just because I'm big into like collection showcase videos. That's like a whole genre on YouTube that I love, dude. I love looking at people's like bespoke. We spent like 10 years and like billions on this like collectively in small purchases. Here's my like my room that I fill with the fucking Simpsons merch, or here's like my room full of fucking that guy who collects just Titanic on VHS even is interesting to me a little bit. And then I like to look at like game rooms too, dude. People who have like massive fuck off game rooms, those are always fun videos. And like shit like that is a good time. And I fear I have to do this so that we don't pivot, but I'm gonna have to barrel over you here. I got a guy talking about WWE figures, like a few years ago, and I still have the image in my head of this guy showing his collection, and just like he swings the camera around and goes, yeah, and then I got like, oh no, he was showing a shelf, and then he goes, oh, there's a John Cena over here. I guess I left him over here earlier. I should have put him back when I was setting up for the video earlier, and I was rearranging them. So and then he turns the camera like a heel turn, 180, like he just like turned on a dime and spun the camera around to a shelf on like a Billy bookcase that was just shoulder to shoulder, heel to toe John Cena figures. Like they were like packed in as close as possible, and he was just like, yeah, here's like his debut first year babyface John Cena, and then here's You Can't See Me prime like armbands and all John Cena. Here's like WrestleMania 38 or whatever John Cena from that time he won super big. Here's John Cena with a ladder match setup going. Here's John Cena. Like it's genuinely just dolls of wrestlers, man, because it's like the only difference between some of these figures are like, because they're all made by like usually the same fucking company, and they're decent figures. I hear they have great articulation.
Like
in fact, yeah, but like Hasbro produces this shit, so they make them, and then they do like cloth clothes most of the time. Like there's the full plastic figures too, but like he was showing off the like cloth clothes one,
are cool,
and it's like genuinely sometimes the difference between like 1 to 2 of these John Cena's is this one is in like an outfit that is green, and this one's in the same outfit but yellow, you know. And like that guy just was like really impassioned about like, yeah, I'm really excited to have the yellow one and the green one because those are from technically different years. And I like to. This was a guy who played with the figures too. Like I don't think I could ever be that guy. Like playing with figurines has just never been something for me. I like posing them on a shelf, but like that's as far as I'll go. I'm not like miming shit with them. And more power to you if that's your thing. I'm not judging anybody for that. But this guy would like play with them, and so his excitement wasn't just the like, yes, I own this rare thing. I own this thing that people seek out because like I own a thing that says I have $1,000 basically, you know, whenever I decide to sell it on eBay. No, this guy's excitement for like the yellow variant John Cena was, yeah, he wore this on SmackDown one time, and it was a really cool fight that I'd like to recreate with my figures, but like I just can't get into it if he's in the wrong outfit, you know? Like, it just doesn't, it breaks my immersion. So I really like to play with this one if I'm doing, like this guy did, like, reenactments, and that's just how he did, that's just what he did with these figures. Because they sell the fucking rings as, like, figures, too. Like, in the same kind of, like, packaging, just larger, of just, like, yeah, here's a 2-scale, like, fucking WWE ring with the ropes and all for the fucking, like, thing to fight on, or for the characters to fight on.
Yeah.
You want a fucking elimination chamber? Like, you want a fucking ladder match? You want a pole match? You can have any of it. Just buy the fucking, like, the match, or buy the mat with the accessories, and you're good to go. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think toys like that are really cool.
It's cool because they print the sponsor logos, too. Like, from the actual events. They'll print, like, the Netflix or, like, the Sun-Kissed logo and shit on them. It's really cool. It's a neat thing. Anyway.
That is really cool. Did you ever see the Toys That Made Us? I think they had an episode on wrestling figures.
Did see that show. Thank you. They did an episode on wrestling figures. I haven't seen it. I want to watch it. I only really watched the episodes of that I was really interested in. I was interested in the evolution of like the G.I. Joe line, and I wanted to know about Transformers, and I wanted to know about Lego. They had Lego as the photo, like the picture on the front of it was Lego, and they didn't have a fucking Lego episode in the first season. They didn't do it till season 2 a year later, and it pissed me off, dude.
Yeah, they like didn't have the rights. It was just like it just happens to be that Legos are just so synonymous with toys that like
it's just the most classic
how
thing.
Can you make a cover?
Like I watched one about like He-Man, and then like I think I watched one about Thundercats just because I had like remember when Cartoon Network really, really tried to bring back Thundercats and just nobody liked it at all. I remember that. I couldn't get into it, but I did like the animation. You know, when I was a kid, I enjoyed looking at it. It was very well put together. Lego what?
With the tiger people.
It was like Chima. It was like Lego Chima. It was like cat people. Yeah. I remember what you're talking about. It's like they canceled Bionicle and then they did like Chima. Yeah.
No, they canceled Ninjago and then they brought in Chima is what happened. Bionicle got canceled for Hero Forge.
Oh no, that's right. Hero Forge was in that line. I think they killed Hero Forge for Ninjago, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Like that's part.
No, they didn't. Hero Forge. They were both part of my childhood.
Oh no, Hero Forge and Bionicle parts eventually just became Technic parts at some point. That's what happened.
Yeah, they became Technic
parts.
They just
fell under the larger Technic line, and they don't even do those.
They're back to just Bionicles. They'll sell Bionicles, but like not the original ones and not Hero Forges. Which is sad because I liked the Hero Forges because they were like robot guys instead of like I don't know.
I feel like Lego could get a lot out of and Lego already has something called the Lego Classic line, and I think that's why this is taking so long for them to do something like this. But Lego has a line called Lego Classic, which basically just covers if you buy a big box that's not a set and it's just bricks, that's what Lego Classic is. That's all it is. It's just buying a big box of parts. That's all you get. You get like a door in every color. You get like a certain amount of each kind of brick in every like basic color, and then like there you go. You just have a box of parts to play with. But like,
yeah, I used to have.
What I really, really want them to do is I want them to do a Lego Classics line where they re-release like, here's the old Ninjago stuff, here's the old like Bionicle line, here's some like popular Rock Raiders sets, because that's why it's like, yeah, if you want this piece in any color, it's like 1 cent to buy one. But if you want it in like green, it's gonna cost you like $4 billion and your left leg. And it's like, Jesus Christ, why?
Yeah.
Because it's in a set from 20 years ago and they've just not printed any more of them other than in that set. It's a specialty part. And it's like, dude, and it's always like sets that people liked too. It's like, it's shit like the classic Lego Space Buggy. And it's like, dude, bring it back. I'd buy that. It's like a little $2 set with a little spaceman and a cart. I'd buy that. Like you can sell that to me for $10 even. It's only like 6 pieces big, but I'd buy it.
A classic line. They do that like the Knights of the Kingdom, I think they called it, or something like that. Like those really classic like 80s and 90s.
Oh, it's just Lego Knights. They've already brought that theme back. That's what Lego does. Instead of doing a big classics line, that's why I think that's part of why. Because like they do re-releases, but they're so rare. They don't usually re-release a set, they'll redo it. That's why there's like 8 different versions of like the Hogwarts bus or whatever, is because when they want like a Hogwarts bus out this year, they'll do a new build for it. I actually think, I'm not a big Star Wars guy. I actually find Lego Star Wars very endearing. The Lego Star Wars The Clone Wars show is like the only piece of Star Wars media I can stand, and it's mostly non-canon now, and that's like upsetting to me. People shit on it. No, it's canon. People just shit on it because it fucked with the canon. That's what it is. Because it's like, by the way, Obi-Wan had like a secret fucking, like, had like a secret apprentice that just doesn't get brought up at all ever in the movies, by the way.
Yeah.
You know? During like the Clone Wars.
Which I think is fine, honestly.
But which is fucking fine, dude. I think Obi-Wan mentioned that he's trained people before. I don't see why you need to mention, I mean, like they had like with Ahsoka, they kind of had like a thing going on, but like they sort of had like a bond, but like whatever. It was like a mentor thing, whatever.
But like, are you talking about Anakin? Anakin.
Oh no, because they did a thing with Obi-Wan and they did a thing with Anakin. Sorry, it's been an eternity since I've seen this goddamn show. But like they had like a whole thing going on for these characters, and I really liked it. It was very like digestible as its own thing. It really got into like the clones. That's something that like, and funnily enough, it was my first Star Wars media when I was a kid, and then I watched the movies and was like, wow, they don't really talk about the clones that often, really. Like I thought like clone troopers were the whole point of this franchise, genuinely.
Attack
for a
of the
minute.
Clones, it has a lot of clones in it.
It's got a lot of clones in it,
really
but
story important. It's got a lot of
Attack of the Clones. The clones are guys we can
shoot
shoot without any problem. They're placeholder enemies. In the Clone Wars, the clones are guys. The clones are like, the clones sit down and take their helmets off and have their weird ass like animated like Jango Fett faces, and like they sit down and they had like original characters in that shit too, dude. Like fucking. God, they did some cool shit with like Rebel One or whatever his fucking name was. No, not Rebel One. That's a completely different goddamn thing.
That's a different movie, but
that's a completely different thing. Sorry, Star Wars is all one big jumble to me. I sort of had a Star Wars moment when I was like a kid after like the Clone Wars ended is what happened, and I had like a Star Wars moment, and then I like was over Star Wars entirely. But like, and so it's just all one big jumble to me, and I don't know any of the new stuff. But I've heard a little bit about Mandalorian, and I've thought about picking that up because apparently it's very watchable as like a not Star Wars fan, and it's very good Western. Like, it's good sci-fi Western, so I might pick that up. And I'm really interested in like the Boba Fett, Jango Fett, Mandalorian side of things. I really like that. You know, I like the bounty hunting side of this universe way more than I like the like Jedi side of it. Which is kind of the point, but
I really like the really niche Star Wars shit. Like, not modern Star Wars. I like the niche Star Wars shit from prior to Disney picking it up. Where it's like, there's a story. This is canon, by the way. They have a story where Anakin, like, has a dream where he becomes Darth Vader. and they do like a what if story around it, and then it gets like rewritten. They do like really cool and really interesting concepts in Star Wars when it's not the movies.
I'm telling you, like, I don't like the Star Wars extended universe either. I like it, but Doctor Who fills that for me because it's like there's infinitely weirder shit in the Doctor Who extended universe. But you know, it's its own thing. Like the Star Wars extended universe to me is just so silly to learn about. But like mainline Star Wars is the whole reason I don't like Star Wars. If the movies didn't exist, I would love Star Wars, which is such a weird thing to say. What like an insanely odd thing to say. But I just don't like the movies all that much because like they're movies and they have the problem that long-running narratives in movies have where you can't really get too into anything. You kind of have to pick one thing and be really into that plot line, you know? And maybe like, a B-plot too.
They were really going for the Jedis, you know?
But it's just like, no, those are the clones. It's fine. The movie has the word clones in the title. Doesn't matter. They'll come up twice. It's all right. They'll be in big fight scenes and shit, and it'll be cool, but like, don't expect to meet one of them, you know? But no, in the Clone Wars, they had, what is his fucking name? The blue guy. You know what I'm talking about, right?
The blue guy? The guy with there are a lot of blue guys. The guy with the hat, the bounty hunter with the hat.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name.
No, not the blue guy. Not the blue guy. He's a fucking. He's a Clone Wars character. I don't know if he's in any other Star Wars media. Oh no, I'm thinking of Lego Star Wars, the series too. Now I'm thinking about the Lego like Star Wars series. No. The mainline, just like, didn't they do something like that? They had like a Lego Star Wars series too.
They did not, from what I understand. They probably had Lego Star Wars shorts that were out, but
no, he's from the Lego games. I'm mistaken. I you know how I played the fucking Lego Star Wars games as a kid? It was I liked Lego Star Wars. I like was a poor kid and didn't really like Lego games all that much anyway, so it was not gonna be the like, please mommy, will you buy this for me? Like it was not gonna be one of those, you know? And so like I was not wasting one of those on the Lego game because I knew I wouldn't get as much enjoyment out of it. So I've experienced those games mostly through cutscene. So sometimes I get a little confused and it's like, oh fuck, right, that Lego Star Wars animated series, right. I'm pretty sure there is a Lego Star Wars animated series also. I'll look into this.
Yeah,
but
it was just like, it wasn't a series, it was just a bunch of shorts. They used to do that. There's a bunch of like Lego shorts for like DC heroes and shit.
Dude, I feel sick.
You just have to look for it.
I feel sick. I don't feel myself right now. I just looked down at the timer. We're Doctor Who on the topics list, and I shunted it to talk about Doctor Who. I shunted it to talk about Star Wars. I gave up on talking about Doctor Who to talk about Star Wars because I had more shit to say about Star Wars right now. I will talk about Doctor Who at some point. Probably after the season is over, honestly, by the time these themed episodes are up. But that's no, I swear there's a Star Wars animated series that's Lego also, but I might just be jumbling like the Lego games cutscene compilations and fucking Clone Wars together in my head in a weird way.
Yeah.
Oh no, you know what it was? The movie did like a couple bits with like battle droids, and then the standard droid was like a real big punching bag character in the Lego games, and they also did that same bit in the Clone Wars. It was like that whole fucking stupid goddamn droids bit was like three sets of the franchise for some reason. And then, like, the movies, like movies still have their, like, god damn it, droids are dumb moments, but, like, they have that about, like, all the mechanical characters, not just these fucking guys specifically for some reason.
That's not, like...
We're being robo-racist, yeah! Wait a minute! Oh, man. But either way, I think that we're coming up on the end of this episode. We have so much TV to talk about. We went on too many fucking tangents, man.
To talk about.
We were going to talk about Invincible. We were going to talk about Doctor Who. We were going to talk about
Vox
fucking... We were going to talk about common side effects.
Hell, before this episode, we were just talking about how the fact that we were trying to think about transitions between topics and what might be like.
We didn't think we had enough for some reason. I thought these were all going to be like 3-minute things, but we keep finding like topics within a topic to talk about. Like we keep nesting shit into each other. I don't know what it is. But
that's called good podcasting, I think.
It's good podcasting. You tuned in for a TV episode and you got like 30 minutes of a TV episode and like an hour and 30 of everything else. Well, actually, it was genuinely, this is more of a WWE episode by time count than it is anything else, I think. But we talked about TV, damn it.
But nonetheless,
we did a TV-themed episode.
It was
all right?
WWE's TV.
It's our goddamn show.
All right.
Get as many tangents as we want. Fuck.
Yeah, motherfucker. You can find our stuff every Sunday at 3 p.m. On the Fight About It channel, YouTube and Spotify. It premieres on YouTube if you're into that sort of thing. You can also check us out directly by going to our card page and go into the little about the hosts. You can click on our card or Vox's card in my link tree. I haven't done that bit in a long time.
I'm setting up a straw page now, even. I may not move away from card.
Promo.
I mean, not move away from card, but like straw page is pretty cool. I like straw page. Pretty neat.
Yeah, let's end the episode. See you guys around.
See you around. Bye.